We are at the finale. Safeguard. It's been a hell of a ride, guys. Really like this album. It's good.
Time to more when the sun goes down. The motion underneath your feet was born without sympathy, so just keep spinning through space and time.
Oh.
'Cause no amount of tears will ever
Very failure, dude. I love it. Creepy. Very creepy.
So keep your good tight, nothing's gonna change it. Time to more when the sun goes down. Motion underneath your feet was born without sympathy, so just keep spinning through space and time, 'cause no amount of tears will ever rewind.
Very slow song.
There'll be time to more when the candle burns out.
I love it because it sounds like failure, though. Fucking cool.
Keep your good tight, nothing's gonna change it now. It's just a symptom of the love you gave. So keep your good tight, nothing's gonna change it. I know you wanna give the reins away, but keep your good tight, nothing's gonna change it now. It's just a symptom of the love you gave. So keep your good tight, nothing's gonna change it.
That's it. That's the whole album. Pretty good album, but not better than the last. I feel that there's a lot of stuff missing. Now let me go ahead and bring this closer so you guys can hear me. I feel that there's a lot of stuff missing from this album that, you know, it doesn't bring on the same vibes as, you know, The Great Filter. I The Great Filter was a masterpiece. I gave it a 10 out of 10. This album is lacking. It's lacking some stuff. It has a lot of slow stuff that I don't really care for. There's 2 songs on here I really don't care for, and that's the last one, which is Safeguard, and Give In. Not really my style, but at the same time, I love the fact that they give that some influences from Failure, some Deftones, maybe, and that Meshuggah track really surprised the fuck out of me. I didn't think that was gonna happen with this band. That was fucking cool. But yeah, that was Limb, right? Was that called Limb? That was the Meshuggah track, or was it Swan Dive? I think it was Swan Dive. Anyways, man, this is my review. What did I think of it? It's lacking. It's very lacking. It's not as good as the last. Let's just put it that way. It's not the same as the last one. I do love it. I love this album. I love the fact that it gives off a nostalgic vibe with progressive alternative music and rock in general. It's not very metal. It's not a very metal album compared to the last. The last one was very in your face metal. In my opinion, it was hard rock and metal. It kind of reminded me of Chevelle, the last album, and Black Keys. Alright, here it is. My top 3. Number 1's definitely going to fucking Swan Dive. That track was fucking killer. Number 2 is definitely going to Limb. I love that track as well. I love the fact that they came in. I think, was that the one where they came in out of nowhere and then they came back in? I think it was Equator. But anyways, Limb was fucking, that was a hell of a track. I love that track. And I loved Dim. Dim is definitely one of my favorites on this album. But a couple honorable mentions that I really enjoyed was My Martyr. Equator was really tight. I loved how tight that song was. And I'm going to give the last one to Awake. Awake was a great song. I love Say It too. All these are great songs. They're all good, you know. But at the same time, I cannot pick them all, the influences. Now, I had a hard time kind of trying to find these influences. So far, I have Deftones. It's definitely on there. Deftones is definitely an influence. Failure is definitely an influence. Meshuggah is definitely an influence. And Mastodon. And finally, the 5th pick that I'm going to pick for an influence for this album would have to be Far. It's a new metal band from the early 90s, early 2000s. And they sang the song Pony. Or they did a remix of Pony, I think it was. Or I think that, yeah, they made the original. If you haven't checked them out, they're a really good band. Check them out. Definitely going to give them the gratitude of having that as an influence, because they're a really good band. The genre. Let's just go with experimental. It's very experimental genre. It's very progressive. Definitely progressive. It's hard rock. Definitely hard rock. It's alternative. And finally, is it experimental, progressive, hard rock, alternative. And then we have a technical kind of thing going on with a few of these tracks. I really liked it. I really liked the technical aspect of this album. I believe I ordered this album. Waiting for it to come in right now. It's a great album. It's a great fucking album, man. I really do like it. But as I said before, I cannot give it a 10 out of 10 because it is not better than the last. But what I can give it is a motherfucking 9.25 out of 10. Olympian Gossip is lacking. It has a lot of stuff that's lacking. But the harmonies are on point. The drumming is on point. The bass is absolutely fucking spectacular. The best VIP thing on this album is the bass. In my opinion, I'm giving it to Rob. Fucking fantastic job on the bass. Love it. I love the parts with just the bass and the harmonics underneath you. Fucking cool, man. The drumming is another fucking high point of this album. Great fucking drumming. And of course, Jonathan's vocals with Rob's is another high point of this album. But as I said before, it's not as good as the last one. I hope you guys enjoyed this album review. Stick around, because in 5 minutes, we're going to check out Drowner.